Weak teenager is harassed by high school bullies. But what they didn't know at the time is that their victim has unique supernatural powers. Every time they attempt to hit him, they end up hitting themselves instead. The story begins in a secluded place in the countryside. During the night, a van drives along the gravel road. An old man comes out. His name is Pfluger. He has a drink out of his liquor flask and takes a shovel out of the van. Pfluger looks around and finds a Native American burial ground. Intending to steal its mythical powers, he starts digging a hole in the ground. The sky above is lit by bright flashes of lightning that suddenly appear out of nowhere. Despite the ominous sign, Pfluger continues desecrating the grave and picks up the remains of people who were buried there. When he drops a skull, the ground starts shaking around him. Bolt of lightning hits the burial ground, throwing Pfluger away towards his van. Unbothered by the supernatural events, Pfluger gets up and laughs hysterically. He gets in the van and leaves. Kelly Mason is an awkward high school student. He has a rare eating disorder that compels him to eat inedible items like plastic, paper, and even metal. Because of his unique condition, Kelly is bullied severely by his schoolmates who refer to him as Trash Boy. His only friend in school is a girl named Dominique who has known him since childhood. She tries to help Kelly with the bullies but ultimately makes things even worse, giving them an excuse to grab the helpless Kelly and throw him in the garbage can. Confronted by the store owner, bullies leave the poor boy alone and depart in their Mustang. It's clearly not the first time this has happened, because Kelly had extra clothes in his backpack that he changed into, as his old clothes now smelled like garbage. Arriving at school on his bike, Kelly continues eating inedible objects, unable to control his disorder even in front of people. He is ashamed to find out that the video of him being thrown into the trash can is already spreading in school. Distracted by that, Kelly accidentally pushes yet another bully. He humbly apologizes for his mistake, so the bully lets him go. After school, Kelly goes back to the house where he meets with his mother, Bernice, who has just arrived with groceries. Worried about her son, she calls a doctor to the house. Unable to eat normal food, Kelly is getting increasingly weaker from malnutrition. The doctor strongly recommends that Bernice have Kelly talk to a psychiatrist, as his condition is mostly psychological at this point. Meanwhile, the desecrated burial ground is visited by Red Elk, a Native American man who has been tasked with protecting it. Devastated by what happened, Red Elk seeks to find the people responsible for this atrocity and bring them to justice. Sometime later, a group of people assemble outside to listen to Pfluger. He claims to be a healer with a seemingly magical ability to cure any illness a person may be suffering from. The public is fascinated by the revelation. An old woman comes forward and begs Pfluger to heal her back and legs, which are failing her in her old age. He tells her to make a small donation and proceeds to touch her knee, asking God to take away her pain. Unexpectedly, seconds later, the old woman says that her knee has been healed. Overwhelmed by the unusual display, the shocked public praises Pfluger as a true healer. People start walking up to him one by one to have their bodies healed as well. Red Elk was among the crowd. He has already figured out that Pfluger's magic has something to do with the burial ground. Bernice, who also attended the gathering, asks the healer to visit her house to heal her son Kelly. After the event, Red Elk confronts Pfluger about the grave. He reveals that earlier at the burial ground, Pfluger was given the special powers he calls the medicine. Those who have these powers cannot be harmed by others. If someone tries to inflict damage on them, it will backfire on them instantly. The medicine also gives the person an ability to heal people. Red Elk begs Pfluger to return these powers to him, warning him that if he continues using them, he will ultimately destroy himself. But Pfluger rudely refuses, revealing that he's enjoying his new status as a messiah and has no intention to stop. Arriving at Bernice's house, Pfluger comically takes her money first, and only then agrees to see Kelly, who is clearly dying from malnutrition. Pfluger attempts to heal the boy by touching his body, but can't do it at first. Exhausted by the entire day of healing people, he goes to the bathroom to wash up and have a drink. Pfluger comes back and tries again, but this time, during the process, something goes horribly wrong. Pfluger takes his hand off Kelly and stands up. While on his feet, he has a terrifying seizure and dies in agonizing pain when he hits the ground. Kelly survived the procedure. He says that he's hungry and wants to eat normal food, realizing to his surprise that the eating disorder is finally gone. Police arrive to investigate the incident. Among them is Sheriff Bud Adler, a friend of the family. They assume that the old man was sick and died of some illness, dismissing the supernatural nature of his claims. Sometime later, Kelly fixes his old bike. He cuts his finger in the process. To his astonishment, it heals instantly before his eyes. Amazed by his new abilities, Kelly happily tells his mother about them. She doesn't take his words seriously at first, but likes that her son now drinks soda instead of eating a can it came in. Kelly goes for a bike ride on the road. He enjoys his newly acquired strength as his body is not malnourished anymore. Kelly drives to the city and stops to fix his bike. He meets Dominique and her friend Sarah. They notice that his body suddenly looks different than before. Not only that, but now he has the confidence to speak to Dominique. The two clearly have feelings for each other, but Kelly never had the courage to ask her out. When she departs, Kelly is harassed by Reed, one of the bullies from earlier. However, having his magic powers, Kelly says he's not afraid, telling Reed that he can't hurt him. The bully doesn't believe him and punches Kelly in the stomach, only to feel the blow on his own stomach while Kelly feels nothing at all. Reed tries to hit Kelly again and again, but every time he receives the damage himself while his victim laughs at him unharmed. Freaked out by Kelly's magical abilities, Reed escapes in a hurry. Kelly rejoices as he is now truly invincible. He gets a job in a pizza restaurant, intending to use the money to buy himself a new bike. Later at night, Kelly and Bernice are surprised to hear a knock on the door. It turns out to be Gus, a high school football coach who happens to be Reed's father. He claims that his son was attacked by Kelly. It becomes apparent that Gus is aware that his son bullies Kelly, but he didn't do anything to stop it and encouraged it. Enraged by this, Bernice throws him out. Kelly happily demonstrates to his mother his new abilities. When she pinches his arm, she feels a pinch on her own arm. He goes even further, burning his hand with a lighter and yet receiving no damage at all. It appears that Kelly is invulnerable to any physical danger. Realizing that it's dangerous to let anyone know about this, Bernice urges her son to keep his magical powers a secret. The next day in school, someone tries to kick Kelly, only to feel a kick on his own behind. Later in class, strange events continue happening when Kelly starts daydreaming about Dominique and Sarah. In a surprising twist, they start feeling aroused at the same time when he fantasizes about them. At night, schoolmates have a party near the river. Bullies continue harassing Dominique, so Kelly rushes to her defense. They were about to hit him when suddenly Gus intervened and stopped them. Nelson, Reed's brother, threatens Kelly before departing with the rest. When they leave, Gus confronts Kelly, saying he will uncover the truth about what's going on. Kelly departs, leaving a confused Dominique at the party. While he rides his bike home, Kelly is intercepted by the bullies who follow him in the car. They try to scare him first, but seeing that Kelly isn't afraid of them anymore, Brad, the aggressive driver, decides to go even further and attempts to run him over with his car. But when he hits Kelly, Brad is killed instantly. Kelly survives the crash but receives superficial injuries. When bullies find out that he's alive, they run away in horror, realizing that Kelly can't be hurt. His injuries heal very quickly. Dominique and Sarah arrive at the scene in their car. They are surprised to find out that Kelly miraculously survived the crash while Brad didn't. Soon, the police arrive. Gus advises his sons and other bullies to keep quiet about Kelly's supernatural powers. They tell the sheriff that Kelly drove his bike in the middle of the road. According to them, Brad tried to avoid hitting him but lost control and died in an accident. The airbag went off when he hit something on the road. Kelly claims that he got off the road the moment he saw them approaching him from behind. Since his wounds healed perfectly, it doesn't appear that he was involved in Brad's death. Sheriff Adler doesn't trust either side but lets them go for the time being. Brad's death is ultimately written off as an accident caused by the car's airbags. After the incident, Kelly tells Dominique about his powers. The two start dating, further enraging the bullies who desperately want Kelly dead but don't have the courage to try anything after what happened to Brad. Later at work, Kelly exposes his powers again when he forgets that he doesn't feel pain. So he passes a flaming hot metal pizza peel to another employee who drops it instantly from the pain. While throwing the trash out, Kelly is suddenly confronted by Red Elk, who heard the rumors about his invulnerability. Spooked by the stranger's questions, Kelly denies the accusations and leaves in a hurry. When he goes back home, Bernice says she has a headache and asks Kelly to go get her some aspirin. He leaves, unaware that the bullies were just outside their trailer, planning their revenge for Brad. They put chains over a cinder block holding Kelly's trailer and tie it to their pickup truck while Bernice sleeps inside. Reed tries to back off, saying this is going too far, but despite his objections, bullies get in the truck and accelerate, throwing the trailer to the ground. The harsh impact detaches the gas stove from the wall, which results in a gas leak. Bernice tries to leave the trailer but realizes in horror that all the doors are jammed. Seconds later, the gas inside detonates. Kelly comes back to the house, shocked by the fire that enveloped his home. He rushes inside to save his mother, but it is already too late. Bernice has passed away. Kelly screams in pain and cries over her dead body, devastated by his mother's tragic death. Burned Kelly is brought to the hospital. Doctors are baffled by the medical marvel. Kelly heals almost instantly after his arrival, raising even more suspicions in Sheriff Adler, who investigates the tragic explosion. Deeply saddened by what happened, Kelly goes back to his old habit of eating inedible materials. He is left in the hospital for the night as he has nowhere to go. Leaving Kelly in the hospital, Adler is met by Red Elk. Apparently, the two are from the same Native American tribe. Red Elk reveals that Kelly has supernatural powers he inherited from Pfluger, who stole it from the burial ground. The sheriff dismisses his tale as superstitious nonsense. Before leaving, Red Elk tells Adler to call him when he accepts the truth about Kelly. The next day, Kelly and Dominique attend his mother's funeral. He puts flowers on her coffin and walks away, unwilling to discuss his loss with others. Kelly visits Pfluger's grave. Dominique comforts him, telling Kelly that his mother was like a close relative to her, so her death is devastating to her as well. Kelly is leaving town as he has nowhere to live now. The two kiss passionately and say goodbye. Left at Pfluger's grave, Kelly starts eating plants that are growing on it. Sarah watches him with interest as he suddenly becomes ill and starts throwing up uncontrollably. Kelly realizes that these are no ordinary plants. They have something to do with the magical powers he inherited from Pfluger. Adler drives Kelly home. He reveals that the investigation has shown that the trailer's supporting concrete block was removed from under it, causing the gas leak that led to the explosion. Meanwhile, the four bullies happily drive in their pickup truck. Burdened by guilt, Reed wants to tell the police the truth about Kelly's mother's death, but the other three make fun of him, pointing out that they will go to jail for murder. Seeing Kelly in a car ahead of them, bullies start yelling at him aggressively and making insulting gestures while driving past Adler's car. For some reason, the sheriff sees no problem in this and tells Kelly to ignore these idiots. Their behavior makes Kelly realize that they are the ones who killed his mother. He leaves the car while it's in movement, shocking Adler, who stops the car and starts looking for him. But Kelly is nowhere to be seen. He escapes through the forest, intending to take revenge on the bullies. Kelly walks towards the river because he knows that they will be there. Tucker, one of the bullies, goes for a swim, while others throw rocks at him as a joke. Seeing that they're distracted, Kelly grabs Tucker's shirt. He eats a small piece of the shirt, wrapping the rest around his neck. By strangling himself with the shirt, Kelly strangles Tucker, causing him to drown in the river. The other three rush to get Tucker out of the water, but it's already too late. He's dead. Kelly comes out, revealing that he drowned Tucker by eating his clothing and strangling himself. He takes their clothes, saying he's going to kill them all. Reed cowardly runs away and stumbles upon Adler, who just arrived at the river. Seeing the sheriff approaching, Kelly escapes into the forest, saying it's not over. Bullies tell the sheriff what happened. He questions their story about Kelly's supernatural powers, saying they probably hit Tucker with a rock while they were fooling around, causing him to drown. But despite his skepticism, Adler begins to realize that Red Elk may have been right all along. Later, Kelly visits Dominique at her house. She is disturbed by his behavior and tries to convince Kelly to get the others to confess instead of killing them. Shamed by his girlfriend, Kelly reluctantly agrees. The next day in school, during chemistry class, Kelly provokes Tony, one of the bullies, telling the classmates that they killed his mother. Tony loses his temper and splashes corrosive chemicals in Kelly's face, causing Tony's own face to melt while Kelly remains completely undamaged. The entire class watches in horror as Tony dies in unimaginable pain while Kelly makes fun of him. Dominique is beginning to realize that Kelly has changed. He's not doing this to avenge his mother anymore. He enjoys inciting fear in his enemies, becoming a ruthless bully just like them. While this was going on, the chemistry teacher called Sheriff Adler into the school. He tells the enraged Kelly to calm down and go with him. Adler gets distracted by the dying Tony, giving Kelly a chance to flee. Later, Sarah meets Nelson in the car, being Tony's former girlfriend. She wants to avenge her boyfriend and reveals what happened at the cemetery, when Kelly ate plants from Pfluger's grave and got sick. The two are unaware that Kelly is watching them from afar. They drive to the cemetery and collect some plants from Pfluger's grave. Nelson and Reed are afraid to go back to school, but Gus insists that they must go to football practice tomorrow, despite the disturbing events that happened earlier. Red Elk convinces Adler to dig up Pfluger's grave to make sure that the medicine isn't there. Adler warns Gus that Kelly really does have supernatural power, but the coach laughs it off, saying he's not afraid. Looking around, Adler finds a piece of concrete attached to the chains in Gus's pickup truck, verifying his suspicions that Nelson and Reed killed Kelly's mother. He walks away to talk to them, giving Kelly an opportunity to sneak into the truck and steal their clothes. Kelly finds a drill in the truck, giving him the deliciously evil idea to kill them with it by drilling himself. The sheriff confronts Nelson and Reed about the chains. They deny the accusations. Suddenly, Kelly appears behind them, revealing that he ate their clothes and is about to drill himself. Terrified by his threat, Reed runs away, saying he had nothing to do with his mother's death. But Nelson takes out a sprayer, saying he has grave plant juice in it. Before he can use it, Kelly starts drilling his own legs, throwing Nelson into an immense pain. Adler talks to Kelly and tries to convince him to end this, saying he will arrest Nelson for the murder of his mother as he now has the proof. Dominique arrives and also begs Kelly to stop. Persuaded by them, Kelly stops drilling his legs. Unexpectedly, Nelson grabs the sprayer and shoots Kelly with plant juice. Weakened by the juice, Kelly falls to the ground. Gus grabs Adler's gun, encouraged by Nelson, who says that Kelly is now vulnerable. He tries to shoot Kelly in the head, but Kelly has already regained his powers, so Gus ends up killing himself and his son by pulling the trigger. Confronted by Dominique and Adler, Kelly finally sees what he has become. He was tired of being bullied, so when he got the powers to protect himself, he became the bully himself. Not just a bully, but a murderer. Ashamed by his actions, Kelly agrees to let Red Elk and Sheriff Adler help him remove his powers. They get back to the burial ground and start an ancient ritual, trying to put the magical powers back where they belong. Adler asks other policemen to attend just in case. During the ritual, Kelly is put into convulsions as his body starts deteriorating. Red Elk reveals that he had the powers for too long and now they can only bury them by killing Kelly in the process. Unwilling to lose him, Dominique urges them to stop the ritual and let Kelly keep his powers. In his deranged state, Kelly tries to run. One of the policemen panics and opens fire at him, killing himself but also fatally wounding Dominique, who got in the way. Overwhelmed by grief, Kelly kills himself so that the powers end with him. But it turns out that the powers didn't disappear. They just moved to Dominique, who later wakes up in the ambulance with her wounds healing in a matter of seconds. It becomes apparent that Kelly accidentally transferred the powers to her before dying. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Movie Fist channel so you don't miss out on interesting movie plots.